Like the women of the MEK, my daughter's dedication and determination is a scary thought to the mullahs of Iran. As I reported, I am very proud to have written and refuted that report. So for those of you that said I used my daughter's name in vain in that letter, why not hear it from her? Sarah, would you come up here and tell me whether I used your name in vain?
Thank you, and forgive me, I'm not well versed in public speaking, so I will do my best. As my father said, my name is Sarah Phillips, and I am his daughter. I'd like to tell you a little bit of history about how I came to learn about the people of Ashraf. In 2003, my understanding of the world was shattered. I learned, contrary to very popular belief, especially in America, that not all women in the Southwest Asia region remain complacent in the face of oppression. There's a special group of women who do not just let their lives be dictated for them. My father, who was in Iraq at the time, told me, he called me on his international cell phone. I was in a dorm room at the time. I remember him calling and saying, "Sarah, I've found your modern-day Amazons, those women warriors, the type that you are always seeking and reading about. You will never guess." He told me, "You will never guess where I have found them." It was that day that I learned about these brave women, and actually what was almost more shocking to me is the fact that it wasn't just women, there was men standing at their side in defiance of tyranny. I learned about the Mujahideen, and I begged my father, I begged him, let me meet these women. Even better, let me take their mantle and let me fight with them. They'd managed to not only break stereotypes and roles, but they'd overcome insurmountable odds to rise up to a position of authority and power. These women and men of the MEK believe in democracy and equal rights. They believe in freedom. What a beautiful word, freedom. The Webster's Dictionary defines freedom as the quality or state of being free, the absence of necessity, coercion, or constraint in choice or action. Liberation from restraint from the power of another. Soon after I learned of the people of Camp Ashraf, I began corresponding with several of them. If you're listening today, and I sincerely hope that the women of Ashraf are able to hear my words, I loved receiving your electronic letters, and I loved being able to share that information with people on my campus and with friends, letting them know what is going on in Ashraf and around the world. There are not many people in the world as valiant as these women of the MEK, who I had the absolute honor of being able to correspond with. We would talk in our emails and in our letters of one day meeting in a free, not only Ashraf, but Tehran as global sisters, and finally being able to cross those borders. My father has given many speeches lately defending his stance that the MEK should be taken off the terrorist list. Many of you believe him, and you know this to be true as well. But for those of you that might question this, that might question the stance of my father and even his character, using his daughter as a tool, I want to tell you something. When my father first took over in Iraq, and this is a true story, he would warn me, "Sarah, do not be so starry-eyed. Do not be so excited by these stories I tell you, because they might still be falsehoods. These are terrorists we're talking about." He was as skeptical as any American would be concerning the disposition of the MEK and the perception that they were terrorists. But when I told you about my character and standing up here today, the apple does not fall far from the tree. My character is like my father's, and he walks with open eyes and with an open heart. When he began to realize that the people of Camp Ashraf were not terrorists, he began to advocate for them and urge me to pass along what information I could. By the time he left Iraq, my father knew without question that what he had originally been instructed about the people of Ashraf was a blatant falsehood and propaganda to empower corruption and ruthless men. I always felt that there was not enough I could do. Just a simple young girl in America, what can I do knowing about the situation? I always felt that far away my voice would be very small, that my words could not be heard. I'm very lucky to be here today in front of you all and finally let my voice be heard. I can only hope that those listening in America who actually do have the power to affect change in the situation for several thousand good people are listening. As things are, I am afraid for the people of Camp Ashraf. I'm afraid that the women and the men are going to find themselves facing a force without any defense. If all I can offer standing here today as a weapon for them is my voice, then I shout for their removal off the terrorist list. These people are good. They are not terrorists. Thank you.
Madam Rajavi, I'm sure your daughter and almost 1,000 other young women in the MEK would appreciate having another young woman come there and work with them. Because yes, I would trust the safety of my own daughter in the hands of the supposed terrorists. But it's not up to me. It's not up to me. It's up to my daughter, Sara, your choice. If I get the opportunity and the President allows me to go over there, will you go with me, even if it means you got to go to Ashraf?
I say let's roll.
Thank you.